high call series.
Morning, children. So we have learned about the food habits of the people of India in the previous lesson, and now it's about our dress. So we know that there are different kinds of clothes that we use based on the seasons, isn't it? So we already learned in the lower classes also that there are different kinds of clothes that we use, and during the summer season we wear cotton dress, cotton during summer, wool during winter, isn't it? So why there is a difference in the kinds of clothes that we wear? Yes, summer is very hot, and then we need some clothes which can keep us a bit cool, isn't it? Winter is very cold, and we need some clothes which can keep us warm, and that is wool, right? So based on the seasons, we have different kinds of clothes, isn't it? If there are clothes based on different seasons, then what about India? Huh? So seasons change. When there is a change in the season, definitely there is a change in the climatic pattern also. Okay? Then we need to adjust ourselves with the kind of changes that is there in the season, and definitely we need to change our clothing pattern also. Okay? If there is such kind of a change in the clothing pattern based on these slight changes that we come across in the weather patterns, then what about a country which have got a lot of differences, variations? See, for example, in India, the northern part of India is the Himalayas, isn't it? Means what? Very cool. Huh? The southern part of India is a comparatively dry region, means what? It's very hot. The northeastern part of India, it rains a lot. It's always wet. At the same time, on the west, in Rajasthan, it's a desert. Means what? Very hot. So a country which has got these many variations in the climatic conditions at different regions, is it possible to have same kind of a cloth for all these four regions? Is it possible? No way, isn't it? The kind of cloth that the people use in the northern region is not suitable for a southern region because the climatic conditions are opposite. Here, it rains throughout the year. It rains. You know, the wettest places in the world, the Mawsynram, and before that it was Cherrapunchi, hardly 12 kilometers away. Okay, so Mawsynram, Cherrapunchi kind of places are there in the northeastern states of India. And the driest place, the Great Indian Desert, or the Thar Desert, is opposite to that. Okay, so India has a different kinds of climatic conditions, and because of that simple reason, India has a wide range of climatic conditions. Just because of this simple reason, we can make it assured that the kinds of clothes the Indians wear also differ based on these differences. Okay. So what is the basis on which the clothes that the humans wear in different parts of India change? Based on the climatic conditions, based on the physical features which are available there in a particular region. Okay, but still there are some kinds of dress that the people of a particular region wear, and that dress is known as the traditional dress. What do we call that? We call that a traditional dress. So what do you mean by a traditional dress? Yes, a traditional dress is a dress that is worn by the people of a particular region of whom we can recognize them easily. Okay, just like based on the uniform, the students can be identified in which school a particular student is studying. Yes, in the same way, every state, every region in India has got a particular type of dress. For example, the South Indian states, say Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So these states are hotter states, isn't it? So in these states, gents usually wear what we call it lungi, dhoti. Dhoti and the shirt is a common dress in the four South Indian states, isn't it? All these five states have lungi or dhoti as a common thing, but do we wear dhoti in the same way? There is some difference in the way we wear it. So based on that difference in wearing a cloth, we can easily understand from which state or region a particular person is. Woolen dress is a common and a compulsory item in North India, but still we can identify or distinguish a person from Himachal Pradesh and that of Ladakh or Kashmir. Okay, so this difference is made possible by the variation in the dress, and that dress is known as a traditional dress. Okay, so the kind of a dress with which we can recognize the region from where a person has come is called a traditional dress. Right? So when it comes to women, their common dress is a sari, isn't it? Their common dress is a sari. Then, sari and blouse is a common dress of women. Then they also have a salwar kameez. Or even ghagra choli. Right? So long skirt and the dress with a shawl. Okay. So sari and blouse is a common dress for women, especially elderly or grown-up women. Basically, they prefer sari and blouse. Salwar kameez also is a very convenient dress as women is concerned, and salwar kameez is specifically from the state of Punjab. Okay, then the ghagra choli, and it's mostly by the young kids and all, right? So these are the traditional wear when it comes to women. Okay, and as far as the men are concerned, dhoti and shirt, isn't it? Dhoti and the shirt are the common dress as far as the men are concerned. Okay, so now let us think about this first. So I'll show you a picture over here, and in that you can see this single item called a sari and a blouse is being worn in around 8 different styles in India. There are a lot of specialities as far as this particular item called a sari is concerned. It's usually a single piece of cloth of something around 5 to 5.5 meters long. Okay, and it is worn, and wearing that sari is itself considered as an art, because the Westerners always wonder how is it possible to drape a 5 meter long piece of cloth so beautifully around the body. And this picture will now show you in how many ways we can wear this saree. Okay, see, look at the picture. So how many ways are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different. Means 8 different states or 8 different regions of India do follow these ways of wearing a saree. It's interesting, isn't it? Huh? A 5 meter long of a long single piece of cloth, a sheet of cloth, simply a sheet of cloth, is draped around our body in these many different ways. In the same way, the other kind of dress also, like salwar kameez is usually known as Punjabi dress because it is originated in Punjab. It's made and it is famous throughout India in the same way, right? Then we have Ghagra Choli. Ghagra Choli is an elegant version of this dress, but usually, our girls also a long skirt and a short kind of a thing up to the waist. So most of the grown-up people will wear a kind of a shawl around the neck also for that, right? So the states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Kerala, everywhere, almost pan-India we can say, right from the north till the south, east to west, we can find these kinds of dress. Okay. Then in Kerala, there is another traditional dress which is known as a pancha with blouse. It's an old traditional dress used to be worn by the girls, the ladies in that region. But nowadays, girls everywhere around India wear chudidar, pajama, kurta, trousers, t-shirts, skirts. Okay, so now the gender difference has got a lot changed when it comes to the aspect of wearing dress, right? So traditional dress is something that we have been following for a long period of time in India, but now it has got changed a bit. Yes. So when it comes to men's clothes, it's usually, yes, dhoti and the shirt is a major part of the traditional dress. We have long trousers. Trousers we usually call it as a pants and a shirt. But dhoti kurta or kurta pajama, lungi kurta, these are some kinds of common combination of traditional dress for men that we can find in India. So what are they? There are dhoti kurta, again dhoti and a long kurta, then kurta pajama, pants kind of a dress, then lungi kurta. So these are the most common traditional dress for men in India. In some states, people still do prefer traditional dress. For example, in Rajasthan, the Rajasthan people still have the habit of wearing a traditional hat known as a achkan. Okay, so ACHKAN. So achkan is actually a traditional hat that is worn by the people in Rajasthan. Then Punjabis, they wear the turban. Again, the Gujaratis have a habit of putting a jacket over the shirt that they wear, the kurta they wear. Okay, dhoti kurta is common in the states like Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Bihar, and Assam. Right? So I will show you a picture here in which you can see some different ways by which this dhoti can be worn. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different ways of wearing dhoti is there in this image that I am showing you. Most of them are pajama, kurta kind of dress in which we can see pants also. In those, whichever image is there without a pants, we can see dhoti being worn in that, isn't it? See how beautiful that is, isn't it? Huh? Yes. So traditional dress is still worn in the different parts of the country. So some regions have got this traditional aspects because, see, for example, South India, the people who here usually prefer cotton clothes because the climatic condition is very hot over here, isn't it? But is it preferable for people in North India? No, because it's comparatively cooler there, right? Now, when we go to Rajasthan region, we can often find dust storm there, dust storm, sandstorm. We have already seen it, sandstorms, isn't it? So the dress that they wear definitely have some aspects which they can use to protect themselves from this sandstorm. A scarf or something with which they can easily cover their head when there's a sandstorm happens. At the same time, in the northeastern region, we have already seen it's a very rainy and wet. So most probably gumboots will be a part of their dress, isn't it? Because they need to work in the farms, the hillsides, in plantations and all. So they have to use some clothes, isn't it? Or some long umbrella kind of a thing which they can fix on their head like a cap. Becomes a part of the traditional dress because such kind of a long cap, a big cap can definitely help them from being wet in the rain, right? So this part, this caps is another important feature of the traditional dress in India. For example, the Punjabis actually have this habit of putting a turban around their head, right? And there is another thing. The people in Gujarat mostly wear a cap. The people in Gujarat usually wear a cap, which is mostly of a cotton khadi kind of a thing, and that is known as the Gandhi cap. Okay, so Gandhi cap is a small cap kind of a thing that the people, especially from Gujarat. So Gandhiji was born there in Gujarat. Yes. So the people in Gujarat usually wear this kind of a small cap, usually white in color, and that is known as a Gandhi cap. Now, fur caps are famous in Kashmir, especially for kids. It's very cold over there, and the mufflers and all those kinds of things won't be that useful when it comes to small kids because it depends whether they keep it or not. But when they are introduced to stylish fur-made caps, people definitely love it. Okay, so they will be much interested to put these caps on, and that is very important because the children had to get protected from the cold over there, right? Then Himachal Pradesh is the topmost stage in India, especially in cap making. Okay, they make excellent, extraordinary, smooth, well-finished woolen caps, but nobody in the world can identify them as woolen caps. Okay, such industry-perfected caps are produced by the state of Himachal Pradesh. So in most of the regions, these caps are actually a part of their traditional dress. We have already seen the Achkan in Rajasthan is a traditional cap kind of a wear as far as the people of Rajasthan is concerned. The turban is very important for the Punjabis, the people of Punjab, isn't it? And the people in Himachal Pradesh also wear this fur-made cap. Then Kashmiris usually prefer woolen caps a lot. So in many states, especially in the north, where there are more chances to be cold over there, has this as a cap as one of the most important part of their dress. Okay, so these are the common kinds of dress that we wear or known as a traditional dress. But nowadays we have got a large number of other kinds of dress also like Jeans pants are there, jeans t-shirts, then cotton trousers, right? So these are some of these dress which are not our traditional dress but something we have adopted. Okay, pants, the trouser itself is an adoption basically by the time when the British people came over to India. Okay, and most often we have seen these delegates speaking in suits, ties and all. So there's trousers, suits, ties. All these are actually something that we have copied from the West and not something that we have over here now. Okay. Now, so these are about the clothes that we wear in a traditional manner, and we often prefer traditional clothes when we have festivals and celebrations. Celebrations again we may go a bit non-traditional, but during festivals we mostly prefer traditional dress, isn't it? Yes. There is another kind of a dress which is called the uniforms. So what is the speciality of the uniforms? So uniforms are actually dress that are worn by people who follow a particular profession or the students who study in a particular school. You know that, isn't it? Yes. All the students in your school, right from LKG till 10th class, will have the same dress, isn't it? The same design, only the size differs. Okay? So, wherever and whenever you meet a student in the same dress, we can identify, oh, this brother or sister is studying in our school. There may be another school in the nearby area and they will definitely have a different uniform. It won't be the same uniform, is it? Yes. So every school has a different uniform. In the same way, the people who follow a particular profession will always have a particular uniform. For example, when we go to hospitals, we can come across people like doctors there, isn't it? So how can we identify the person who is coming against us as a doctor or not? Yes, doctors always wear a white coat, isn't it? Above the dress that they wear, they always have a white coat which will have two long pockets on the sides in which they keep the stats or the thermometer or some other kinds of things over there. Right? So just by looking at that coat, we can understand, okay, he is a doctor. Because in the same hospital, we will come across another person called a nurse. So how can you identify a nurse? Yeah, they will be usually wearing long white coats or white saris, isn't it? Yes. So once when we step onto a hospital, we can easily identify who is a doctor and who is a nurse just by looking at their dress. Right? Now, army people, soldiers, they have different uniforms. Right? So the army has a different uniform from that of Navy, and they have an entirely different uniform from that of Air Force. Okay? So there is a difference. Police people, policemen, we can identify them based on their uniform, isn't it? Yes, they always wear a khaki dress. But a driver also wear a khaki dress. A postman also wear a khaki dress. And a firefighter, a fireman also wear a khaki dress. Then how is it possible for us to understand who is a policeman, who is a postman, who is a driver, and who is a fireman? Yes, we can easily understand that. Right? So a policeman has got a khaki dress, but the design of the pockets are different. There will be small flaps over here with some stars on that. They will have a different kind of a cap, and they will have a brown shoe also. So it's not just the dress that would make him a policeman. Okay, a uniform. There are some other features also. We need to consider all the features in that. Okay, we need to consider all the features. So if you keep a policeman, a postman, a driver, and a fireman in a line, we can easily identify because they have different distinct features, right? And a driver, he may not wear a khaki colored trouser, but he wears only a shirt. A postman, yes, he has a khaki colored shirt and trousers and a bag also in which he carry all these letters. Right? So in the same way, even though the color of the dress is same, there are still so many differences in that with which we can easily identify who is what. Clear? So uniforms are the dress which are used by people who do specific jobs. All the people who do that particular job will have the same uniforms, so that it helps us to identify them easily. Students who study in the schools are also supposed to have a typical dress which can make them different from the other people, and they also wear uniforms. And when there is a festival or a function or a celebration like a birthday or a marriage or something like that, then we will go for another kind of dress which is a bright, colorful, and stylish. Isn't it? It's during the festival time, it's during the celebrations or some occasions like a marriage or a birthday party or so, we go for a bright, colorful and a stylish dress. Most often we will go for a bit costlier dress also at that time. Isn't it? We'll go for some stylish, costlier dress which can match well with the kind of ornaments that we have. Or we will have some add-on things like jewelry, like a gold or a silver or a diamonds or a platinum. Okay, so these kinds of things which you already have should have to match with the dress that we wear. Okay, so uniforms are used by students who go to schools and the people who particularly do a particular profession. Right? Then bright, colorful, stylish, costly dress are used during festival seasons, festivals or occasions of celebrations or parties and all. Clear? Okay. Now, where do we get these clothes from? So, we know there are two different kinds of sources as far as the clothes are concerned, or the raw material that we use to make these clothes are collected from two sources. One is a natural source, second is a synthetic, means artificial. Okay. So out of the total kinds of fiber means a raw material which is woven into making clothes, right? So out of the total kinds of fibers that are available, we can divide them into two, like a natural and artificial. Natural are the things that we get from the nature. For example, cotton, right? So where do we get cotton from? Yes, we get the cotton from the flowers of a cotton plant, isn't it? These flowers are carefully plucked out, processed to make a cotton fiber. Wool, we get the wool from a sheep. The hair is sheared, cleared, processed and made woolen threads out of it. Silk, we know we get the silk from the silkworm. The cocoon is boiled, processed and made the silk threads out of it. Isn't it? Okay. So, there is one more thing called the jute. Gunny bags are there, no? Gunny bags. So, gunny bags are actually made of this thing called jute. It's also the stem of a plant called the jute plant. It's a process to make that. it's a still process. We can make a fine threads out of jute and we make a clothes even out of a jute threads, right? So cotton, wool, silk, jute, etc. are the things that we get from the nature, which we process and make fine threads with which we make clothes, right? So they are so known as a natural clothing material. But okay, but we have artificial fiber also. When cotton, wool, silk, jute, etc. are called as a natural fiber, we have some artificial fiber also. For example, we call polyester or rayon, nylon. Okay, so these kinds of clothing material are not natural, but they are made through some chemical processing, and that is why they are called a synthetic fiber or a artificial fiber. So synthetic or artificial fibers are man-made fiber. They are not naturally produced by any cost. Okay, but both these are extensively used in cloth making, and rayon and nylon fiber is too much used in the fashion industry also. Okay, so we have clothes made up of cotton, wool, silk, jute, rayon, nylon, etc. Right? So there are two major kinds of fiber. One is called a natural fiber and the other is called a traditional fiber. Natural fiber is a fiber like cotton, wool, silk, jute, etc. And artificial fiber are products like rayon, nylon, polyester, etc. So fiber like cotton, wool, silk, jute, etc. are naturally produced, and so they are known as natural fibers, whereas rayon, nylon, polyester, etc. are synthetically produced, chemically produced, artificially produced, and they are known as synthetic fibers. Right? So you can read this lesson from the attachment, the PDF which is attached along with this video link. Okay? So you can download it. If you want, you can make a printout of it and you can read it also. That's end of the lesson part here, and now it's a time for us to go and do something with the activities, right? So children, we have already completed the lesson. Our dress is in the right, and now it is time for the activities and the exercise part of the lesson to be completed. Now the first part we have write a T for tree, T true, and F for false. The true or false question. See, 5 sentences are given there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And some of these sentences are right, true, and some are wrong. True means they do agree with what we have learned in the lesson. False means they do not agree with what we have learned in the lesson. True means they agree with what we have learned in the lesson. False means they do not agree with what we have learned in the lesson. So, based on what we have learned in the lesson, we need to cross-check these sentences. We need to cross-check these sentences and check whether these statements are true or false. Right? Now, the first sentence, all Indians wear the same type of clothes. All Indians wear the same type of clothes. Is it possible? The people who are living in the Himalayan region, the very cold region, wear the same kind of dress of the people who live in the Thar desert, live in the same kind of dress who the people wear in the hotter southern plateau region. Is it possible? No. So different regions of India has a different climatic and weather conditions, and based on that, the kind of clothes that they wear also differ, isn't it? So is that a true statement? No, that is a false statement, isn't it? So all Indians wear the same kinds of clothes is a false statement. Now, doctors and nurses wear white dress. Yes, doctors wear a white coat kind of a stuff, and the nurses wear white gowns, isn't it? Yes, doctors wear white dress. Fur caps are worn in Rajasthan. Fur cap. Fur cap is used for keeping cold out, isn't it? So do the people in Rajasthan suffering from severe cold? No, isn't it? So they only use a fur cap. And who does use a fur cap? The people of Kashmir. Okay, the cold regions of Himachal Pradesh or northern Punjab region or Jammu Kashmir region, they do wear woolen or fur caps. Only people from Punjab wear turbans, yes. Only people from Punjab wear turbans. Sikh people wear turbans. But does it mean that only they are the people who wear turbans? No. There are other people also who wear turbans, isn't it? Our clothes are generally made of natural or synthetic fiber. Yes. Cotton, wool, silk, all are natural fibers. Yeah, the natural fiber. Then polyester, rayon, nylon, these are all artificial fibers. So, the clothes are generally made of either natural or artificial fibers. It's a true statement. So, all Indians wear the same type of clothes is a false statement. Doctors and nurses wear white dress is a true statement. Fur caps are worn in Rajasthan is a false statement. Only people from Punjab wear turban, again false statement. Our clothes are generally made of natural or synthetic fibers as a true statement. So shall we check the answers once? All Indians wear the same type of dress, false. Doctors and nurses wear white dress, true. Fur caps are worn in Rajasthan, false. Only people from Punjab wear turbans, false. Our clothes are generally made of natural or synthetic fibers, true. Right? So now, I will keep this screen the same for another minute for you so that you can have a good look at the sentences and the answers also given here. Right? Fill in the blanks. So, five sentences are given there. And we need to check. See, every sentence there is a blank also. Five sentences are given there. Every sentence has a blank also. We need to check what we have learned from the lesson, and based on that, we need to complete these sentences. Right? So, five sentences are there, five blanks are also there. Based on what we have learned in the lesson, we need to complete these blanks. Right? Okay. Indian women generally like to wear, what is a common dress that Indian women wear? Sari and a blouse, isn't it? Sari and a blouse is a common wear as far as Indian ladies are concerned. The women in Punjab wear salwar kameez. Salwar kameez, which is actually known as Punjabi dress, isn't it? Yeah, usually in our region, it's known as a Punjabi dress. Why? It has come from Punjab. Soldiers dash uniforms, isn't it? To represent their country. Soldiers use uniforms. Special uniform. Okay, uniforms is enough. Special clothes are called uniforms, isn't it? Special clothes are called uniforms. Dash is a modern dress for boys and girls. Both the boys and the girls, what do they wear? Yeah, t-shirt and the jeans, isn't it? T-shirt and the jeans is both commonly worn by boys and girls. Okay. So Indian women generally like to wear sari and blouse. The women in Punjab wear salwar kameez. Soldiers wear uniforms or special uniform, no problem. Special clothes are called uniforms. T-shirt and jeans is a modern dress for both the boys and the girls, right? So now I will check the answers once, fine? Right. So Indian women generally like to wear sari and blouse. The women in Punjab wear salwar and kameez. Soldiers wear uniform as in a special uniform, okay, to represent their country. Special clothes are called uniforms. Jeans and t-shirt is a modern dress for boys and girls. Now, I'll keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can have a look at both the sentences and the answers with which we have completed them. Right? The next one as a match the following. Okay, different kinds of dresses given there, or part of dresses given there, and here the regions where they can be followed. Right? So Gandhi caps, fur caps, turban, sari, mundu blouse, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Kerala, Kashmir, Punjab. So Gandhi caps, where can you find the Gandhi caps being used? It's in the state of Gujarat, right? So Gandhi caps are used in Gujarat. Then fur caps, we have already seen where, cold regions like Kashmir. Yeah, Kashmir is already here. So fur caps, Kashmir, turban, Punjab mostly. So Gandhi caps are in Gujarat, fur caps are in Kashmir, turban, Punjab, sari and blouse, Uttar Pradesh, sari and blouse, Uttar Pradesh, mundu blouse, Kerala. Right? So shall we check the answers once? Yes. Gandhi caps, Gujarat, fur caps, Kashmir, turban, Punjab, sari blouse, Uttar Pradesh, mundu blouse, Kerala. Yes. So I'll keep this the screen the same for another minute for you, so that you can have a look at both the options and the matching we have done. Right? So next one, tick the correct answer. So 5 sentences are given there. In all the 5 sentences, there is a bracket with an option inside it. So we need to read the sentence part, and out of the 2 options given there, we need to select the correct one. Right? So in Gujarat, people wear churidar pajama with jacket, right? So in Gujarat, people wear churidar pajama with a jacket about it. Doctors and nurses wear white dress, not a black dress. Who wear black dress? As lawyers or advocates, isn't it? They wear black dress. Gandhi cap is so popular in Sikkim or Gujarat. Sikkim is a Himalayan state, so people there may wear fur caps. They may wear fur caps, but not Gandhi caps. So Gandhi cap is popular in the state of Gujarat. Festive clothes or uniforms are made of silk and brocade. So do we have a silk school dress uniform or a brocade made of school dress? No. Then which dress? Festive clothes. The clothes that we wear during the festivals or celebrations are special clothes. The bright, colorful clothes, isn't it? They are made up of a silk or a brocade, isn't it? Yes. So festive clothes are made of a silk and a brocade. Next. Mundu blouse is a traditional dress of Himachal Pradesh, Kerala. Mundu means pancha, lungi. So is it possible for the people of Himachal Pradesh to use that? Why? It's very cold over there, isn't it? Yes. So which state do have Mundu blouse as a traditional dress? Kerala. Okay. So in Gujarat, people wear churidar pajama with a jacket. Doctors and nurses wear white dress. Gandhi cap is popular in Gujarat. Festive clothes are made of silk and brocade. Mundu blouse is a traditional dress of Kerala. Shall we check the answers once? Yes. In Gujarat, people wear churidar pajama with a jacket. Doctors and nurses wear a white dress. Gandhi cap is popular in Gujarat. Festive clothes are made of silk and brocade. Mundu blouse is a traditional dress of Kerala. Right? So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can have a good look at the sentences and the options given and the way by which we have completed them. Right? So the next is answer the following questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions are given there. 5 questions are given there for which we have to find answers from the lesson what we have learned. So why do people wear different clothes in different parts of our country? Why do people wear different clothes at different parts of our country? Answer. We have different types of climates in different parts of our country. So people wear different clothes according to the regions and the seasons. We have different types of climates in different parts of our country. So people wear different clothes according to the regions and the seasons. So the clothes varies based on the regions and the seasons, right? So as we have different climatic conditions in different regions of our country, our people wear different kinds of clothes. Which are the popular dress of women in India? What do the women in our country, India, would like to wear? The most popular dresses of women in India are a sari blouse, salwar kameez, and gagra choli with the chundri. Right? So what are they? Yeah, Sari blouse, we know what sari and the blouse is. Salwar kameez, we have seen it already, it has come from Punjab. It's also known as yes, the Punjabi dress. Then a gagra choli with the chundri. These are the three, yes, mostly widely used popular dress for women in India. Which are the popular dress for men in India? The most common dress of men in our country is the trousers with the shirt. Long trousers means the pants with the shirt is a common dress that the men wear. Other popular dresses are dhoti kurta, kurta pajama, lungi kurta. Dhoti kurta, kurta pajama and lungi kurta are also some kind of dresses that are being used by men. Okay. Name the different fibers used to make clothes. What are the different fibers that are used for making clothes? The natural fibers such as wool, silk, cotton, jute and linen are used for making clothes. So, cotton, wool, silk, jute, linen. Linen is actually a fiber that we get from a plant called flax, right? Then artificial clothing like synthetic materials, polyester, nylon, rayon, okay, they are also used in fashions. Which kind of dress do people like to wear on special occasions? So when there is a festival or a celebration or something like that, which kind of a dress do people like to wear the most? On special occasions, people like to wear colorful, bright clothes. These clothes are often made up of a silk or a brocade. So during festivals, celebrations and all, people would like to wear colorful dress. People would like to wear colorful dress and they are mostly made up of either of a silk or of a brocade. Right? So these are the 5 questions and answers. Why do people wear different clothes in the different parts of our country? We have different types of climates in different parts of our country. So people wear different clothes according to the regions and the seasons. Which are the popular dress of women in India? The most popular dress of women in India are sari blouse, salwar kameez and gagra choli with the chundri. Third one, which are the most popular dress for men in India? The most common dress for men in our country is a trousers with the t-shirt. Other popular dresses are dhoti kurta, kurta pajama and lungi kurta. Name the different fibers used for making clothes. The natural fibers used such as wool, silk, cotton, jute and linen are used to make clothes. But nowadays, synthetic fiber is also used in fashion, right? Now, which kind of dresses do people like to wear on special occasions? On special occasions, people like to wear colorful and bright clothes. These clothes are often made of a silk or a brocade. So these are the 5 questions and their answers from this lesson. I'll keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can go through the questions and the answers once again. Okay. Take out different dress from your wardrobe and now compare the fibers used in them. So we have different clothes at home now. Yes, we need to pull some clothes out of it and check the fiber which is used for making those. Okay, so what should we do? Yeah. So what are the different kinds of fibers we use? Natural fibers. So then the fibers can be classified into two. First one is natural, like cotton, silk, linen, wool, jute, flax. What are the natural fibers? Cotton, silk, linen, wool, jute, flax. And the second is artificial fiber. What are the artificial fibers? Polyester, acrylic, nylon, rayon. Polyester, acrylic, nylon and rayon are the artificial fiber that is used for making clothes. Okay. So again, I will keep this screen the same from the minute for you so that you can either copy the things down or make a note of it. Right? Here is given a list of dress. Write the name of the fiber used in them. So here we got the list of some of the dress that we use, like a frock, a sweater, a t-shirt, a socks, a jeans, a sari with a brocade, pants, or a printed sari. Okay, so we need to check the names of fiber used for that. So what fiber would have been used for making these clothes? First one, frock. We can have cotton frocks, polyester frocks, or nylon frocks. So frocks are basically used of cotton, polyester, and nylon. Sweater, wool, no other possibility. Sweater is always made up of wool. T-shirts, cotton t-shirts are there. Then there is another material called viscose material. It's a synthetic material, right? Then socks, latex. Latex is an elastic type of fiber, which is a stretchable. Jeans, denim, cotton, or viscose. Three kinds of jeans are there. Denim jeans are there, cotton jeans are there, viscose jeans are also there. Sari with brocade. Lot of fibers can be used, like a cotton, silk, jute, with various brocade varieties, which is not basically a fiber, though. So brocade is not basically a fiber. Okay. So sari can be of any material. It can be cotton sari, it can be a silk sari, it can be a jute sari. Yeah, jute is also refined well to make tea threads with which we can make saris. Pants, cotton, denim, nylon. Only three varieties are there. Printed saris, artificial materials are used like georgette, satin, rayon, polyester, chiffon, organza, and even silk and cotton saris also can get printed. Okay, so georgette, satin, rayon, polyester, chiffon, organdy, and even silk and cotton saris also can get printed. Right? So I'll keep this screen the same from the minute for you so that it will be easy for you to have a better look at it. Right? collect different types of fibers and paste them in your scrapbook. So we can easily collect these different types of fibers from the magazines, the newspapers and all, right? So we need to collect some images of different kinds of fibers and we need to paste it on the notebook, okay? Yes. So what are the major types of fibers? Cotton, polyester, silk, acrylic, linen, nylon, wool, rayon, jute, flax, etc. are some major types of fibers. Okay. So that is what we have from the lesson, our clothes, and until we meet the next class with a new lesson, stay at home, stay safe, be safe, right? Thank you.